Should I rent or should I buy in Fort Lauderdale, Florida? This is a very common question amongst people looking for their next place to settle down. In this video, I'm gonna do a surface level breakdown of the differences between paying someone else's mortgage and paying down your own. What's up guys, my name is AJ Butler. I'm a real estate agent here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and despite the fact that I sell houses for a living, buying may not be the best option for you right now. To kick it off, let's start with renting. Two things come to mind when I think about renting, and that is flexibility and no maintenance. So when you're renting, you can easily move from one location to the other, making it ideal for those of you who want to explore different pockets of Fort Lauderdale before actually buying, or for those of you who have job requirements causing you to move around a lot. On the other hand, you have less control over your housing expenses in the long term. Rent typically trends upwards, especially here in South Florida, and you will have to deal with those fluctuating prices if you're not locked into your own mortgage. Another huge pro for renting is that you're not responsible for the maintenance fees. Typically, a landlord is going to be coming in and doing all the maintenance and repairs when something goes wrong. Really, the only negative thing about the whole maintenance thing is that you're going to have to wait for the management team to actually go through the chain of command and get someone to your unit. Whereas if you were in your own house, you would hop on the task immediately and you would have a little bit more ownership in the project. Now let's get into buying. So one of the main things that you think about when buying a property is, can I even afford this? And that's definitely a valid question because buying real estate is one of, if not the most expensive thing that you will ever put your money into in your entire life. Let's get into a couple of the factors you should consider when making the decision to rent or to buy. So the first thing to think about is long-term wealth. When you buy a property and start paying down your mortgage, you're gonna start building up equity in the property. So imagine this, imagine renting for 3 or 4 years, and then when you finally decided to pack up and move, someone comes in, pays you all of the money that you paid towards that rental, plus some. That's essentially what happens when you own a house and you're paying your own mortgage. On the flip side though, there is no real guarantee that your property will appreciate and actually gain value over the years, so that's always something to consider as well, especially if you're trying to sell sooner rather than later. Another major thing that you have when you buy a house is stability. It's 100% yours, you own the space, and you can do absolutely whatever you want with it. With that being said though, a lot of that freedom comes with a lot of responsibility as well, and that's the perfect transition into a discussion about cost. So what are the main differences in buying a property and paying for a rental? So as far as renting goes, you're gonna have your move-in costs, your monthly rent obviously, and utilities. So if we take the average price of a 2-bedroom, 2-bath here in Fort Lauderdale, that is $3,000. So for this specific example, when you're renting, you're gonna do $3,000 times 3, first month's, last month's, and a security deposit, so that's around $9,000. And let's go ahead and add another $1,000 in there just to round up for any admin fees or anything like that. So move-in cost for a rental at that price would be around $10,000, and then the only thing that you have to factor in after that is rent and utilities on a monthly basis. A quick point before we get into the whole buying side of things is that if you do have better credit or in a good rental history or just financial history in general, they may not make you pay a full first month, last month, and security deposit. You may be able to pay way less upfront. So the cost associated on the buying side is a little bit different than the renting side. There's a few more things that you have to factor in. You've got your down payment, your closing cost, your monthly mortgage payment, and maintenance throughout the years, because maintenance and everything like that is now your responsibility. Now the mortgage payment itself is actually broken up into 4 different payments, which is your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. For short, the PITI. Now there is a lot more things that go into the buy side as far as everything you factor in, like I just said, so I'm not gonna do a full cost breakdown. I definitely can for you if you wanna reach out and I can go into more detail, but just know that I can get all of those expenses that we talked about to whatever price range you need, just like a rental. So for example, that $3,000 a month rental that we had, I can make your PITI and everything included fit into that $3,000 a month monthly budget while putting down as little as possible, like you would be in a rental. So that being said, that was a surface level breakdown of the differences between renting and buying here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. That way you can see the future videos. Thank you so much for watching. This is AJ Butler, Living Life Reimagined.